This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27 here on your Tuesday morning. We want to thank you for starting your day with us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We begin with the latest on the coronavirus. Still 4 patients here in Indiana who have been diagnosed with COVID-19. 1 up in Noble County, 1 in Marion County, and 2 in Hendricks County, including an elementary school age student from Avon.
And that's why Avon Community Schools closing for 2 weeks for that corporation, because they are working to clean, sanitize, and keep students away from each other in hopes of stopping the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. We also know that across the United States we have more than 600 cases, and this is affecting a lot of things in the economy, a lot of big events. They're deciding if things should go on. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so we're going to be breaking down the effects of this virus here locally and across the country.
Also happening here locally later today, the Tri-West School Board, or the Northwest Hendricks School Board, will meet, and we expect to hear more on the controversy surrounding a Tri-West and everything that has taken place at that high school over the past year or so.
Yeah, so this will be the first board meeting for that district after the students staged that walkout in support of a staff member who was fired after talking to our Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny, sharing with her some surveillance video involving Tyler Bruce and that alleged victim. So we're going to be breaking down what we can expect here, to hear from board members, to hear from parents, students. So this will be a big day out in that area. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. The rain coming down pretty hard right now. It woke me up, Todd, but right before I had to wake up anyway. I thought, wow, that's coming down hard. What can we expect out there?
Yeah, you know, this rain's going to be with us for a couple more hours, and then we're done with it for the day. So the longer you can stay home and not get in the car and head off to work, and obviously the kids have to head off to school at their given time. But this rain is making its way through the area. The heaviest of the rain just south of Bloomington, pushing through the Bedford area right now. But it's all rain. You notice those temperatures. It's still nice and mild. We're up in the mid to upper 50s in all locations. So we'll deal with this rain this morning, and then gradual clearing this afternoon. I'm hopeful for a little bit of sunshine before the day is done. You notice I have the 40s written there. Our highs are occurring right now, but once this rain ends, we're going to settle back down into the 40s later on this afternoon. So right now it's the wettest part of the day, but it's also the warmest.
All right, Todd, thank you. And today is also Super Tuesday, round 2. 6 states will vote in Democratic primaries today, and a lot of people have their eyes on Michigan, our neighbors to the north, due to the number of delegates they have. This could be a big determining factor as to who is the Democratic candidate for president this year. We'll have that story plus much more to start your Tuesday morning.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
After a local student tested positive for the coronavirus, Avon schools are canceling class for 2 weeks. The concerns parents are now raising about the closure.
The BBB is now warning about scams surrounding the coronavirus, the emails and text messages that you need to watch out for.
And we're learning more about the plans to relocate a Washington Township middle school, what the district has to say about its referendum project, and the response from the community. 4:30 here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us early this morning to break down our forecast. Raining right now, but it's short-lived.
Yeah, you know, we're probably dealing with the rain through about 8 o'clock this morning, and then after that, we're done with it.
Great.
So it's wet right now. If you could just stay home a little longer, if possible, than you normally would, you'll be in pretty good shape going forward. Here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar right now, and the heaviest of the rain by far is across southern portions of central Indiana. This band of very, very heavy rainfall just went through the Bedford area, and this will continue to make its way eastward through Lawrence County, but good rain in Bloomington, Nashville, Columbus, and Seymour right now. Scattered showers with a few heavier downpours east of Indianapolis, Connorsville, Newcastle, over towards the Greenfield area. The heaviest of the rain has now made its way through the metro area, but there's more rain off to our west, so we'll continue to deal with scattered showers for the next few hours, and then this rain will really start to wrap up. So you just got to be a little bit patient. The back edge is in central Illinois. The worst of it is already through. Temperatures, as I mentioned right now, are sitting in the 50s, but you see the blue to the north. I don't have the temperatures on there in Illinois, but that's the 40-degree weather that's going to be settling in later on this afternoon. The extended forecast, pretty unsettled. We'll break this down for you in more detail coming up in just a little bit, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on those wet roads this morning. You can see them out here, I-465 and I-69. This is on the northeast side of the city. Traffic is moving along up to speed, and that is good news in that area. So let's take you back here closer to downtown. This is just north of the downtown area. This is I-65 here at 30th Street. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly, both northbound and southbound. Again, use caution out there because the rain really coming down at this early hour. We'll continue to monitor any issues this morning and keep you updated. At 4:32, more cases of the coronavirus are being confirmed right here in the Hoosier State.
2 more people, an elementary school student in Avon and an adult in Noble County, have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total number of cases in the state to 4. Avon Community Schools announced it is shutting down all schools in the district for 2 weeks after a second student began showing symptoms of the disease. Students will have e-learning days during that time. All after-school sports and activities have also been canceled through March 20th as a precaution.
While school is out, parents in Avon are now faced with figuring out childcare. We talked to 2 moms who say it's going to be a tough situation for many families. They say they are lucky because their jobs are accommodating, but may have to lean on others for help.
Just really lean on people around you, friends, family, if they're close by.
It's going to be rough and it's going to be difficult, but I'm glad that my kids go to a school system that do care enough to take action before it gets out of control.
Avon Community Schools says families that cannot access e-learning days at home can fill out a form on their website to request packets for their students. The district is also working on to-go food options for those who use their food services. Students and staff will be able to return to school on April 6th following the spring break.
An adult in Hendricks County that tested positive for the coronavirus over the weekend was screened using Indiana University's free virtual clinic app. IU Health says more than 200 people have taken advantage of the screenings since the launch on Saturday. The program is staffed 24/7 with IU Health physicians and registered nurses who can screen patients from home. To learn more about how to access the app, you can find this story in the IndyChannel.com.
It is 4:34. The Better Business Bureau and the Indiana Attorney General are issuing a warning about scams related to the coronavirus. These scams may be phone calls, social media posts, emails, even text messages. Here's a look at one of those text messages an RTV6 viewer received. It says, quote, warning level 3 red, coronavirus outbreak in the U.S. confirmed. Each person has 1 protection dosage reserved, end quote. Then it has a link that you're supposed to click on. The Better Business Bureau says this is likely a phishing scam designed to get your bank account information or to steal your identity.
It's a time when people obviously are very concerned and a lot of fear is out there, and the scammers know that. So they are trying to play off of that fear that people have and that somehow they can be, protected through these, quote, vaccines that don't exist or some sort of protection kit, which really is not effective.
Well, here's how to protect yourself. Avoid opening emails from an unknown source. Disregard online offers for vaccinations because they don't exist yet. Make sure that you have antivirus and anti-malware programs installed on your computer and that they're up to date. You can also report suspected scams to the BBB Scam Tracker.
The situation surrounding COVID-19 is changing every day, and there is a lot of misinformation. That's why our Scripps national team is getting answers to your questions. Watch the special report, Coronavirus The Facts, Friday at 7 o'clock right here on RTV6. And you can find the latest developments about the outbreak anytime on our website, theindychannel.com/coronavirus.
It is 4:35. Metro Police say that 6 people have been arrested after an investigation related to gun violence and drug trafficking. IMPD says that its Crime Gun Intelligence Center searched a home on South Meridian Street in late February and found 6 guns, a half-pound of marijuana, and hydrocodone pills. 23-year-old Randolph Moore was arrested, and the primary suspect along with 5 other people. Moore is facing a dealing marijuana charge, possession of narcotics charge. The others face various charges, including visiting a common nuisance.
Washington Township Schools says it is listening to the community in its plans to move one of the district's middle schools. In May, the district will ask Northside residents for a referendum, which includes relocating Northview Middle School from its current location at 86th and Westfield to a soccer field at 91st and College. Right now, 3 other schools and the transportation center currently sit on the same campus, and the district is running out of space. Plans to move the transportation center to 91st and College were scrapped following tough pushback from area residents. School board member John Fensel says the district has more support for moving the school.
It made sense to try to improve student safety on this site, and something needed to move off of campus. And after listening to the community, after working with our professional partners, it was decided that moving Northview to 91st and College is a strong alternative.
The district is asking for 2 referendums this spring. One will be for construction costs, which includes the relocation of Northview and other projects with a total of $285 million.
It is 4:37. For the first time in nearly a decade, Indiana has a new Speaker of the House of Representatives. Representative Todd Houston of Fishers was sworn in to replace Speaker Brian Bosma. At 12 years, Bosma is the longest-serving Speaker in history and announced last year that he was retiring. Houston will now replace him and serve as Speaker for the rest of the 2020 session. He's scheduled to remain in the role for next year's session as well, but he must win re-election this November.
The Fishers Police Department is getting a new canine officer. In a Facebook post, the department introduced Rico. He is a 14-month-old Belgian Malinois and will serve with Officer Jared Koopman as a narcotics canine. Rico won't start with the force for some time yet as he continues his training in Miami County. Officer Koopman's previous canine, Harley, was shot and killed while assisting in a manhunt last November.
More primaries are underway today as former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders battle it out for the Democratic presidential nomination. Coming up, the latest on that race and how they're handling events and the coronavirus concerns.
And the federal government issuing warnings as more cruise ships experience coronavirus outbreaks. Still ahead, the passengers health officials say are most at risk. Todd.
And Meredith, it's a wet morning all across central Indiana as rain continues to fall with some pockets of very heavy rain to the south, but it turns into a decent afternoon for us. We'll talk about the timeline of the rain and look ahead in this forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 4:38. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
Voters are headed to the polls in 6 states this morning. Both former Vice President Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders making a big push to win delegates, especially in Michigan. Despite concerns about the coronavirus, it appears neither candidate is making any major changes to their campaign. ABC's Zorin Shah has the latest.
As the country grapples with the coronavirus outbreak, the Democratic presidential candidates and their supporters gathered for a last-minute push.
Michigan, I'm counting on you in a big way.
At a rally Monday night in Detroit, Joe Biden supporters were given hand sanitizer as they entered the building.
Hand sanitizer. Get your hand sanitizer.
Voters in 6 states head to the polls today. The biggest delegate prize is Michigan, where a new poll shows Biden leading Sanders by 19 points.
The next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Michigan could be a must-win for Sanders as Biden comes off a string of big wins on Super Tuesday and new endorsements from his former rivals, Senator Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. Neither Biden or Sanders have called off rallies because of the coronavirus. This morning, both candidates are attacking President Trump for his handling of the outbreak. Biden telling ABC's Eva Pilgrim that the American people have lost confidence in the president.
He should stop talking. He makes things worse.
His reckless statements are confusing people in this country and all over the world.
Sanders says his team is consulting with local health officials before his rallies and claims the outbreak makes the case for his Medicare for All proposal.
Think about the insanity of a system where today somebody wakes up and maybe they think they have the symptoms of coronavirus, yet they cannot afford to go to a doctor.
This Medicare for All push would be a long and expensive slog if it can get done at all.
Zorin Shah, ABC News, New York.
As coronavirus cases continue to rise in the U.S., the State Department is urging Americans not to get on cruise ships.
The advisory comes as multiple cruise ships have had outbreaks and they've had to been quarantined. The goal, or the warning rather, is especially for people with underlying health conditions, and the CDC says those conditions include heart disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, and those that suppress the immune system. Cruise Lines International Association said in a tweet that restricting cruise ship travel is, quote, unwarranted.
One of the latest cruise ship outbreaks was aboard the Grand Princess. It docked in California yesterday after more than 20 passengers tested positive for coronavirus. A Florida couple is now suing Princess Cruise Lines for gross negligence. They claim the cruise line decided to set sail knowing the ship was infected from two previous passengers who came down with symptoms. Their lawsuit says they're traumatized from the fear of getting the virus and are asking for $1 million. Princess Cruises has not responded to the suit.
Well, the game show Wheel of Fortune says it will stop taping with a live studio audience as a precaution against coronavirus. Jeopardy is also considering a similar move. Experts say people who are older are at greater risk for the virus. Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak is 73 years old, and he had surgery back in November. Jeopardy's Alex Trebek is 79, and he's battling pancreatic cancer. The CDC has encouraged people over the age of 60 to stay home as much as possible.
The United States has officially begun withdrawing troops from Afghanistan. The move is part of the peace agreement between the U.S. and the Taliban. This is the first wave of 8,600 troops required to leave the country. If the Taliban also meets the conditions of the deal, the remaining troops will return to the states through next spring. U.S. troops have been there for more than 18 years in what is known as America's longest war.
Well, former movie mogul and convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein is reportedly injured after he fell in jail. His spokesperson says Weinstein was dizzy when he fell Sunday and believes he has a concussion. The 67-year-old used a walker during his trial, but he does not have one in jail. He also had a heart procedure done last week. Weinstein's sentencing is scheduled for tomorrow, and he could face more than 2 decades behind bars.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have served their final commitment as royals. They attended the annual Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey on Monday. This is their final royal engagement before their roles end March 31st. The Queen, Prince Charles, and Prince William and Duchess Kate were also in attendance. Many point out an awkward moment when Prince William and Kate took their seats in front and barely acknowledged Prince Harry and Meghan. The service was the first time the public had seen the younger couple with the family since they announced their departure. Here at 4:46, you may be waking up this morning to some rain in your neighborhood. Todd, the good news is it's not going to last all day.
Yeah, primarily the next couple hours we'll deal with these showers, and the heaviest of the rain is making its way through parts of the area right now, and the heavy rain is down to the south. You see it here on Storm Team 6 radar that we have this really heavy band just south of Columbus that stretches down to south of Bedford, and that is making its way into portions of the Seymour area here shortly. So Seymour, you're up for this heavy rainfall right after the top of the hour. Jackson about 5:07 as well. No lightning getting picked up. Yesterday I told you there could be the potential for some thunder. That hasn't played out, but definitely the heavy rainfall is moving through. Some rain still in the Bloomington area as well as Nashville. Then as you look to the north, some spotty showers here from Rockville to Crawfordsville towards Brownsburg, and then off towards the east here we're dealing with light but steady rainfall from Richmond back through Connersville into the Rushville area. The back edge of this entire system is off to our west, and you notice in central Illinois the showers are still present, but that's kind of the last push of the rain. So this will move through over the course of the next couple hours, and today is definitely not a washout. In fact, I think once we get past 8-9 o'clock this morning, we will be completely dry for the remainder of the day. The only question mark going forward into the afternoon hours is, can we break the clouds apart for some sunshine? And I think that we potentially could, especially with sunset now being later with the time change over the weekend. Clouds starting to break apart 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're never going to completely get rid of them, but I will expect some sunshine to develop as the day progresses. But it's definitely wet this morning. You can see the rain on our camera here on top of the Salesforce Tower in downtown Indianapolis. 57 degrees. That's the current temperature. The wind's out of the south-southwest right now at 15 miles per hour. It got a little breezy there yesterday evening. The winds will continue to subside throughout the day today. That is the good news. And you notice the temperatures are nice and mild still. 56 in Greencastle as well as Martinsville. 52 is the current temperature over in the Richmond area. But here is the colder air, and this is going to settle in as the day progresses. So we've already hit our high temperatures for the day today. We'll see our temperatures continue to fall across the area. By the time we get to 11 a.m., mostly cloudy skies, temperature of 48 degrees. And then throughout the afternoon, temperatures are going to hold pretty steady right around that 48-degree mark. And then here's the sunshine that we hopefully get into later on this afternoon. Now, tomorrow morning, there'll be the chance of a few spotty showers, but otherwise, we are looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies tomorrow and temperatures that are in the 50s. We remain mild in this forecast through Thursday, and then the temperatures will fall back down into the 40s to right around 50 degrees on Sunday. You notice those rain chances. There will be some small opportunities for rain throughout the remainder of the week, and no day will be a washout, and there'll be plenty of dry hours mixed in. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on their roads this morning. Here's a live look over on the near east side of town. You can see the wet roads out there Todd's been showing us. It's I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. Traffic's moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. No delays here. So let's take a look at our traffic now map and plan out your commute on I-70, this time on the west side. Traveling eastbound from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the south split. It's a 12-minute drive, no delays. So let's take you up to the northwest side. Here's I-65 at I-865. Same story here. Traffic's moving along smoothly. We'll continue to monitor your roads throughout the morning and keep you updated on any issues.
Starbucks is testing a new cup that's both recyclable and compostable. The new cups are still made of paper, but will get rid of the plastic liner, which is not compostable. The company has been working to cut back on waste, but it isn't an easy problem to solve. Even with the new cups, recyclers still have to separate the cup's liner. That's why they're only testing them in cities with recycling facilities that can do that, including New York, San Francisco, and Seattle.
A historic discovery has been made in what was once a forest in Germany. Archaeologists recently found this radio while they were digging near Cologne. They call it the sophisticated Soviet spy radio. Archaeologists found the radio sealed in an airtight box. Officials think it was buried just before the Iron Curtain fell, and that this was used to spy on either a nuclear research center or military base nearby.
Wow, looks brand new.
Yeah, crazy. Well, sandboxes, they aren't just for kids. Up in Minnesota, after the break, an extreme experience allowing adults to play in the dirt with real construction equipment.
And a local school board is set to meet today after dozens of students walked out of class in protest. New at 5, we're previewing what is sure to be an emotional night for Tri-West parents. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, coverage of two big trials. We begin in Los Angeles, California, the Robert Durst Jinx murder trial. The prosecutor has completed his opening statement after 3 days. Well, today, it's all about the defense. What will they say? Also in Polk County, Florida, the trial of this man accused of shooting and killing a single father after he went out on a date on a dating app. It's a death penalty case. Jury selection wrapping up. Opening statements could begin today. That's all coming up right here on Court TV.
And don't forget, you can watch Court TV live right on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. It is 4:52. We'll be right back.
Healthcare provider today about once weekly Ozempic.
A man in Minnesota is giving adults their own sandbox with real construction vehicles to play with. Randy Stanger came up with the idea for Extreme Sandbox 10 years ago, and it has been a hit ever since. They provide excavators and bulldozers for adults to test out in their giant dirt pit. Those wanting to play go through a safety video, then are walked through how to use the machines. Some pieces of equipment also have obstacle courses to go through. Stanger says he hopes the fun gives people an appreciation for construction workers.
Kind of cool that we're able to give that back to the trades. Yeah. As a father, I've also seen this skills gap is real in high schools, and really trying to educate the younger generations that there's some great trades out there. There's some hands-on careers out there.
Oh, sounds like one of our Hiring Hoosiers features.
Yeah.
The experience does take some cash. To use one machine for an hour, it costs $195.
I feel like that would be fun if it was free. I don't know if I'd want to spend almost $200.
I don't think you and I are the target demographic.
Maybe
Todd and some buddies, you know. Yeah.
Looks fun to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Brings back the memories in the childhood sandbox.
Yes. Well, if it's raining up in Minnesota today, that is more of a mud pit than a dirt pit, Todd.
Yeah, you know, it's wet here this morning all across the area, and we'll deal with these rain showers for another couple hours, targeting about 8 o'clock for the rain to be moving out, and then hopeful for a little bit of sunshine later on this afternoon as you look at your next 7 days. There's a lot of rain chances in our future. However, there are pretty much small rain chances, and no day will be a washout. Temperatures remain mild through Thursday, then back to more seasonable temperatures heading into the weekend. The time now is 4:57. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.